Special, special good night to all our viewers here on the platform. We want to welcome you. Special good night to all our viewers. Just bear with us. Yes, it is 7:01 here in New York, part of the United States, and I'm sure it is 8 p.m. in your neck of the woods in the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean. Greetings to all. Welcome to the platform. Please share as you come in. We have a very interesting interview tonight. You don't want to miss this one. Please share. And for those of you who are joining through our platform over on YouTube, let me just spend some look at you over there. We greet you. Welcome to the live feed there. Thank you again for being here with us. I know it's a holiday weekend, not weekend, but it's holiday season, and many of our broadcasters are offline, and they're doing their thing. But we want to greet everyone in who viewed our platform. Please share as you come in. I did not get the opportunity to share. Very important that you share. Hi, Gloriana over on YouTube. Welcome to the platform. Please subscribe over to our YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to the Facebook Caribbean American News Network, you can do so. And for those of you who would like to join our WhatsApp group, we will post that link shortly, so that you can just press on that link and it will take you to our personal WhatsApp group where we interact, we share and receive information over there, updates as it unfolds. But greetings friends, greetings. Now tonight's program is brought to you by Ingrid Shalry, Molly Mall. Ingrid Shalry, she is the author of The Strength of a Woman, and so it is a good book, and very soon we'll be putting together our book club, and I believe that this would be a must-read on our site to rebuild, empower, inspire, and strengthen others. Maybe you're going through a crisis. You've gone through a crisis, and this book can help you navigate, and it can help to snap you out of your situation. So please, you can reach us at 929-586-1821, and we will be able to touch base with you, get these books shipped out to you as soon as possible. All right, so remember, our program tonight is brought to you by the kind compliments of Ingrid Shalry, the book The Strength of a Woman. That's our sponsor for tonight, The Strength of a Woman. And by the way, Ingrid Shalry, Molly Mall, she is our booking manager. She works with me here on the platform, and she helps to coordinate our online presence. And so I just want to thank her very much for her service, and happy holidays to her. And there are a lot of beautiful stuff that we have in store for you, God's willing, for the upcoming year. We also have Father Albert, who will be with us on Wednesday. Most of you will know him from St. Lucia. He will be live with us at 8 p.m. on Wednesday this week. All right, so please stay tuned for that interview with Father Albert. Many of you who are coming on, greetings again. Greetings, please share. Japere, welcome. Diamond, KB, welcome. I'm just trying to catch you quickly. Cyril, welcome. Japere, welcome. Yeah. Rosalie, Ace, Joseph, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Please share. And let us know if you're a new viewer. Sonia Wellington, welcome. Henry, welcome. I'm looking to book Sonia Wellington at some point too. She has a lot She have a lot going on, a lot to say, and so we will want to bring her on. And I wish that she could have worked with us, with Molly Mall, myself, so that we can have better productions here on the platform, productions that can benefit you, the people, our viewers. And maybe I can do a cooking show also, because I can cook, but yeah, that's another story. That's another story, my friends. But we plan to go bigger and better for the upcoming New Year, God's willing. We are going to be putting a studio on island. We will be on the ground at all these events going on in St. Lucia. And so please pray with us, pray for us, and give us the support as we continue to represent you, the people of St. Lucia. Cyril is in the house from St. Lucia. Let us know where you're viewing from, and also let us know if you're a first-time viewer. Please share. Please share. Please share as you come in. Very important that you share. I am not, you know what, let me just take a little minute or two. I have my guests on. Also, we have a new viewer. Folks, let's say, now let me see if no, I don't have a party music now. Also, we're working on our music. We're doing our own music production intros, so we don't want to be using anybody's music. All right, we're going to be copyrighting our own music. Let's go over to our new viewer, Smith. Maverick Smith. I hope I pronounce your name right. Welcome, new viewer. Welcome, we're happy to have you. Welcome, welcome. Cheers to you, my friend. Oh, Miranda is still at work. We'll be in and out. Miranda, it's good to have you in and out. All right, and Sonia from Michigan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First time here. Sunshine Lucian is first time. Oh my God, we have a lot of first timers tonight. Ay, ay, ay. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Sunshine, welcome. All right. We have Francisca Bryce, who is on with us. Welcome in the house. Yes, you are indeed. And we have from Tampa in the house. Yes, I love Florida. Charlemagne, Lucinta, Charlemagne, welcome. Now, I'm not good at pronouncing names, so you got to forgive me. All right, and Miranda from Brooklyn. How come I've never met Miranda? Miranda, welcome to the platform. All right. Somebody said pity shot. What is pity shot? Pity shot. Japé is pity shot. Pity shot. What's that? Okay, let me not boost my head over that. St. Lucia is in the house from the south. Joseph from the south. Oh my God, my friend Molly Mall is there. I'm locked in. Thank you, my friend. Okay, Smith, you're trying to book Smith, yes. So anyone who needs to be on the platform, you need to go through Ms. Shalry, Molly Mall, and we will try to get you up as soon as we can. Right now, our schedule is a little tight for this week. And let me just say, okay, we have James 758. Yes, my friend, chef, welcome. Oh yes, Miranda, I know you. I know your family. You're good people. I must say, we're from the same neighborhood. So let me stop it before I get disciplined, Miranda. Thank you so much. You know, there's a lot going on with me, so even Molly Mall is having a little issue with me with communication and stuff, so please just bear with me, folks, and we're going to be getting settled in. I just want to say to Yonet Douglas, the Douglas family from Guyana who lives here in the United States, I want to give them our condolences. Last week when I got back from London, as soon as I walked in, they were on the phone. They found their niece at the age of 28 dead in her room. At the age of 28, dead in the room. And so my condolences to you. Janet has been a friend of mine, traveled with me on missionary trips. She's like a sister to me. And so I'll be doing that for my service in Pennsylvania, I believe Friday. One of these Fridays, I am scheduled for St. Lucia too, so I'm busy trying to figure out how to get this thing done. But yes, we will be doing that funeral service. And by the way, I do funeral services and weddings free of charge. We just want to say that here at Caribbean American News, we do free funeral services and free weddings. All right? If you are in the United States, I conduct the service for free. If you also have a loved one you need to be buried, that service is also free of charge to you. And if you want us to travel to your country for your funeral services, I believe it's also free. So just bear with us. There's a lot of stuff we're putting in place to serve you, the people of St. Lucia. I know everything is about money. People need money to do everything, but we do our best here. And we try to provide you the services that you need free of charge. All we ask you to do is to follow and like our programs. And we're not saying we're not going to accept stars or we're not going to accept donations from you. Your donations will go, of course, to the less fortunate, not to us here. Remember, our program tonight is brought to you by the good compliments of Ingrid Shallery, The Power of a Woman. Everybody on this platform, all our followers need to have one of these books. You need to have, and this is going to be one of the books on our book club, our reading club here at Caribbean American News. We want people to read more. We want to help you. We'll have nights or special nights on YouTube only where we just come to read and to, to go through the book, do book reviews over on YouTube. So you've got to subscribe for those special events. There are times we'll have socials over on that platform, all right, where you come and talk your stories. We just talk old-time stories and stuff, all right? So, again, this program is brought to you by Molly Mall, Ingrid Shallery, The Strength of a Woman. Let's get into our program. Tonight with me is Alina Tobierre. Alina Tobierre, very sad story. Let me just bring her onto the set at this time. My friend, I know you were waiting a long time for your appearance here. Alina, I want to welcome you to the platform. And again, condolences to you on the loss of your mother. I know it was in 2001, but it's still fresh because there's a lot of things that are still, keeping you from grieving and the grieving process. But we want to welcome you to the platform. Our viewers welcome you. Someone is saying hi, Alina. It looks like Shalmine knows you. Please share this very important. And what I want to do tonight is to expose a culture in St. Lucia, both in the legal fraternity and in family circles and friend circles. We have major problems, and I'm hearing these stories for too long, folks, where a family member dies, there's a fight for the property, and sometimes the fight is not even persons who are family members. Now, I can remind you of our friend Cecilia, who went down to visit to bury her dad, and end up not even being able to grieve. She herself died. Why? There's a dispute with the father's property. And like we said, if it's not your property, why are you fighting for it? Why are you fighting? If there's a child involved, a daughter or son who is involved, stay out of it. You're not entitled because you took care of somebody or you're the person's friend. You're not entitled for their property. And this is the nastiness that we see in our culture that need to be exposed. And tonight we're going to discuss a very serious situation that Alina, she not went through, she's still going through it. Yep. And there are legal persons who will have to answer some questions. There are friends who will have to answer questions. And it's a lot of stuff. So tonight, our platform is not going to be political. We're going to deal with some of these social issues and family issues that are affecting us in our society. All right? So I'm going to, again, welcome Alina to our platform. We're happy to have you. And I want you to share your story with us. feel free to share it. So welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Garfield. Let me just say thank you for even inviting me on here so that I could really come out and share exactly what I've been going through for. We've been going through it for a few years now, but the death of my mom was last year, and grieving and still having to go through these situations is a very difficult process for us as a family. And I just want to thank you indeed, yourself, Molly Mall, for even extending the invitation so that people could come on and share their stories, so that people could know sometimes exactly the things that people are actually going through, the struggles that we are going through out there, because it's difficult. It is difficult. And welcome to everybody on the platform as well who joined in so that they could hear my story. Thank you for being here and giving me a listening ear. Thank you.
Yeah, so the platform is open to you. Please share with us how this thing all started. We know that your mother got sick.
Yes. So let me just go back a little. Oh, in 2000, my mom married into a family, to a husband who already had children from his previous marriage, grown children. There were 7 children from the relationship, and she married in 2000. And in that family, not too many of the children were happy with the dad remarrying, and especially my mom. There was an issue there. And some of them really made it clear that they didn't really like my mom for their dad. So fast forward to like the relationship, some of them off and on, some of them were close, but most of them not so much. Fast forward to 2014, the dad had a stroke. He suffered a stroke, and they were supposed to take him to Tapia Hospital to get a scan done, and took him in. One of the daughters went in, swiped her card to get the CT scan paid for at Tapia Hospital. And the results came back that his brain wasn't, he didn't shake his brain. There was no damage there. So he was going to be okay. There was just some exercise and some of the things that we need to change.
Also, he had a
But
stroke.
yes, he had a stroke at first.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a stroke at first. And he also was suffering with diabetes, and there was a little bit of high blood pressure as well. So swiped her card. They got the results. About a week or two after they got the results, she came to the house to my mom and her dad that she wanted a refund for her money. So I said to my mom, like, I honestly, I will not have her have your name dragging out in the mud. So I said, listen, my mom's name was behind my account, my bank account back home. So I said, listen, go get her money for her and give it to her. My mom took like 60% of the money from my account, and she had a little money on the side she gave her. She repaid her for whatever she paid for the dad. I've been here for like 15 years in Canada. And for the 13 years before I went home last year, I have been the one helping my mom take care of him by sending barrels, whatever is needed. I do my best from here and send everything that I can. So in 2018, early 2018, like he started not being well. And they also discovered that I think there was early stages of prostate cancer as well.
Right.
And at the time, there was a loan that he had taken. So there's a residential area where they live. That structure was supposed to be built, like apartment buildings were supposed to be built on that structure. And in the beginning of when he married my mom, he really didn't want to build a house for her. There was a house that they lived in, but that was not the house that he wanted my mom to be living in. So he wanted them to move into the house of the previous wife, the house where he raised his children. That's where he wanted them to move into. So my mom said that she was not going to move in there.
Right.
So that dragged on. He didn't build a house for her not until like 2012. They built a part of that structure to live in. I sent for my mom and my daughter in like 2012. When they returned home, the day that they returned home in 2012, that was like end of August of 2012, they moved into the house the same day, that same day. So fast forward to 2018, like he started going downhill health-wise. So the biological children came to the house with the lawyer of my mom and my dad. That was their lawyer at the time. And they were demanding that he write up a will and have them have half of a piece of land that was across the street from where they live. Like there's a residential area,
Right.
and there's another property that my mom paid a loan of about $90,000 that the husband took and my mom paid off
Wow.
from all of her hard work. Imagine they had to go to the bank to lower the amount because the installment payment per month was taking up her entire salary.
It's too,
So
yes.
they had to get that lowered, and over time she paid it off.
And we'll get to that salary because, yeah.
Yes. So that was done. So the children came to the house and said, "Oh, we need you to write up a will and pass half of this property in our name and whatnot." So he said to them, like, "No, like I've given you all other properties. Like they have their own homes. They're married, most of them, grown children, and."
So that is the children forcing the father.
They were asking, yes, they came that day
to split
as a group to split, have him write up a will to give them half of the property across the street. So he said to them, no, like he's not going to do that. The property across the street, that's his and his wife's. He's not giving them anything out of it. So that went on like that. About a week or so after that, because when he eventually said to the lawyer, "Oh, it's some say trace of the." So when the lawyer heard that, he left because he's like, that's an accusation right there. So he doesn't want to stay in that situation. So he left. And about a week later, my mom was asleep at home, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. She jumps out of her sleep and the husband is gone. So she's worried that he might have straight off, left the house and is walking somewhere out in the dark. So she's about to go call the neighbor to go out and have a search to see where the husband might be, because she's not sure how long he's been gone.
Right.
As she's about to step out of the house, the house phone rings. My mom answers, and it's the husband's son. That's like 4 in the morning. Saying to him that he has his dad.
So wait, so he came to the house to get...
Yes. He
without notifying anybody?
My mom was asleep in the house.
Yeah.
And his dad calls him and says that he has something to tell him. So he came to get his dad. So my mom's like, "Okay, but you left my door open. Like, were you not worried that somebody probably could have came in and hurt me? You picked up your dad, you didn't wake me up or anything.
Right.
And you left my house wide open." So move on from that. They had the dad over at their place. I'm not sure how many houses he jumped while they were gone with him. One of the days, in the 7 days that they had him, they sent a letter. They gave it to the neighbor for my mom.
So
in the letter,
who gave the letter?
I think it was the daughter, the daughter, the same one who asked for a refund of her money. Because I think she was the one who wrote the letter. It was her who wrote it.
Okay.
That my mom's husband was accusing my mom of doing mischief to him, and that the solution there was that she was supposed to leave the residential place. That's what they were asking.
Because, okay, so the accusation is that your mom was abusing their father.
The husband, yes, their father.
Yeah.
And that she was to leave the house. That's a few days after they took him. So my mom was like, "Oh my goodness, like, what is this?" And at that point, my mom said that she wanted to ingest poison.
Oh no. So it almost led your mom, and I'm sorry, to commit suicide.
Yes.
My God.
An accusation that wasn't even true. And they knew it wasn't true. And they accused her. I'm like, my mom has been, can I be honest?
Yeah.
My mother was a mother to these children that she at times were not even to her own children,
Yeah.
just so that they could accept her as the father's wife.
Oh my.
There were times we were placed, as my mom's children were placed on a back burner.
Wow.
They're older than myself and my sister, all of them. And she tried her best. Listen, everybody has their ways, but my mom tried her best, her very utmost best, to see that these children accepted her as their father's wife. And when that accusation came, and my mom told me about it, and she couldn't read the letter. My mom is not that educated, so the neighbor read the letter to her that day. And I think that letter, it was ripped up because, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
And I vow from that day, like, my relationship and these children, it will never be the same, because I almost lost my mother that day. She could have not said anything to me and done it.
Yeah.
But she was so hurt by what was said about her, knowing that she was trying her utmost best to take care of the husband. My mom was actually carrying the husband from the bed to the bathroom, give him a bath, and carry him back to the bed.
Wow. And I saw your mother. She's not a big person.
She's not a big person.
Yeah.
And when that happened, a few days after that, they brought him back to the house. In the 7 days that they had him, no medication. They never picked up any medicine from the house for him. No meds. I think the only thing they probably did, feed him and give him a bath or whatever. But all of his medication remained at the house. And I question that, because I'm like, who's doing who the mischief right there? Because your dad is without medication for 7 days. Nobody never realized that.
Now your
No meds.
now your stepdad, their father, he has diabetes.
Hypertension. And at the time, I don't think they knew about we didn't know about the prostate cancer either. It's like closer to the end of life, they recognized that he had it. So a few days after that happened, they took him back to the house, because what I learned was he was begging to go back home. So they took him back, and he started going downhill after that. My mom had to take him to the hospital the day they brought him back to the house. When they got to the hospital, he had suffered another stroke, but it was not as bad. But it's because of the sugar was really high. He suffered another episode. So that happened. They sent him home. There were times, I think he had a catheter at one point. And I'm trying from up here to send everything that he eats, his diet change, almond milk, and he can't eat this and he can't eat that. So everything that I could send, I sent, because to offset the expense on my mom.
Right.
And around November, like, he passed away on the 3rd of November of 2018.
2018.
Yes, November 3rd. That was a Saturday. And we, yes, we're gonna ask. He passed away, buried on the 16th of November. They were adamant to get the will read now.
Oh, so they of course after the property now.
Yes, so they want the will to be read. So my mom went in. I'm not sure if the pictures that I have, you could put it up so that they could see the residential, especially.
Okay,
Because
let me
that's
see if,
kind of the area.
see if I can get it up. Okay.
Okay.
And let's look at the other.
property across the street that they were asking that he write up a will to give them half of it.
Um, you know what? I didn't put up the most of them because I didn't want to, expose a lot of stuff. So,
Okay,
right. I will get them up later on as we go forward.
no problem.
Yeah.
But that residential place that was just shown, the part that is painted in green, and there's a piece in the front of it. So there's a part of that structure as well. There's an extension of that structure. So that part is the part that was given to my mom. My mom actually got only 5,000 square feet of that
Of
land,
this.
where the residential is, yes. So 5,000 square feet was what was my mom inherited from that property. And whatever balance was there, it was in their name. They inherited that in the will.
In the will.
Yes. And half of the property across the street was theirs as well. Now, we're going to jump off of that for a little bit.
Yes.
Because when that happened, my mom then wanted to secure whatever she inherited for her children.
Yeah.
So she went to somebody to get a will done so that she could secure the 5,000 square feet and the half of the property across the street.
Right. So your mom now, I guess, full of wisdom, deciding to get to a legal person, a lawyer, somebody, in order to secure the rest of the property for her children.
Yes. In the event that anything happened to her,
Right.
that her children would inherit whatever she got from that, whatever she inherited after her husband's death.
Right.
So she goes in and lets me know, and whoever else who'd listen, that she got a will written up, that everything would be okay in the event that she passes.
So she informed you that, look, there is a will.
Yes, she said that she got a will done because from what they did there with the property, she wouldn't want us to get into any issues with them.
That's right.
Whatever she inherited, the 5,000 square feet and what the half across the street, in the event that she passes, these would automatically move on to her children.
Children, yeah, makes sense.
Yes. So she does that and continues on the saga with the children. Same story. They kept pressuring her because at that point as well, I'm going to pull in somebody else now.
Yeah.
The employer.
Yes, the employer.
My mom she worked with this lady for like 7 years. And she was their housekeeper for that 7 years. Now let's go back a little bit, because in 2017, when the husband was really ill and stuff, since they employed my mom and kept her, my mom decided that land across the street, that they needed a property to put in a business, so they were going to sell to my mom's employer and her husband.
So the family, your step brothers or siblings.
The stepbrothers and stepsisters, they were not a part of that yet. Not until the dad passed away and they read the will. Now they had half of that property.
Right.
But my mom and the husband had already decided that they were going to sell to the employer and her husband.
Okay.
So that was something that was already in the works. The paperwork and stuff was not there yet, but they were already in talks about selling that property to the employer. So my mom was their housekeeper. And let me just say, like, a flat rate of $1,000 salary every month. No NIC contributions paid. And for those almost 7 years, my mom never got vacation or vacation pay.
Oh my God.
With that employer.
So $1,000 a month.
Yes.
No NIS, no vacation pay.
No. Never took vacation and never got paid for the vacation either. She worked there for the 7 years, and then let's fast forward to 2020. Late 2019, she started feeling unwell. And after the husband's death, like she kept telling me, she realizes she's losing some weight. She wants to get some B12 to take, and so that she can put some weight on, because she was losing weight at the time. And she thought it was just the stress between the children, the stepchildren, and the grieving of her husband. So she went to see the doctor, and that whatever they gave her wasn't working. Unbeknownst to us, that she was passing blood through her stool at the time, and she didn't say anything to anybody. And went to the doctor in 2020. They had her get a colonoscopy done, and on the 27th of March 2020, she was diagnosed with stage 2 colon cancer, which had already kind of spread to her liver as well. When we spoke to the doctor, asked questions, he said to us the size of the tumor, because the tumor was like 40 centimeters in her colon. And we asked how long has she had this thing, because it's a huge growth. So he said it should be about 5 years that this thing has been growing in her. 5 years. And if we count back, the entire time she was caring for the husband, she already had that thing. So it would put us at around 2015 that she started having this growth. Her husband died in 2018. So when we spoke to the oncologist, we decided that we were going to get chemo started. So the employer opted at the time, because at that time she was also owing mom money for the loan payment that hadn't come through yet, because there was an issue with the stepchildren and that loan situation. So since owing mom that amount of money, which was apparently at the time $100,000, that's what was supposed to come to my mother if the payment were made.
And that is for the land?
That's for the land, the property across the street, yes.
Yeah.
So she started paying chemotherapy for mom from May of 2020 to July. And during that time, she used to take mom to, she insisted that she was the one, because at that time COVID was on the high back home as well. So we had to be very careful, because mom was high risk at that time.
Yeah.
So she drove her to chemotherapy sessions and stuff. So she paid for the 4 months, and I had already, myself and my sister had already spoken to her that since she's paying the chemo, when the payment for the land came through, that would be deducted from what was owed. Like whatever she paid, we would refund her that amount.
Good.
She kept going on about, oh, she's not worried about that right now. She just wants my mom to get well and whatnot. But that was, my mom and I also spoke, and that was what we were gonna do. When the payment for the land came through, we would refund her money.
Her money, yeah.
Fast forward to August of 2020. She sends me a message, and even before that, I used to tell her, like, in the event that you know that things are not going to come through for that month for you, and you won't be able to make, please just give me some advance notice as to, okay, I won't be able to make it this month. Can you do something? Can you help?
Yeah.
She sends a message saying, oh, she has something came up. She has lawyers' fees and whatnot to pay. Ta-da-da. I'm like, okay, I am able to afford to pay it. So we didn't want mom knowing that she didn't have the funds. So I Western Union her the amount to pay for the chemo in her name. I sent it to her. Unbeknownst to my mom that I was the one paying for chemotherapy for August. When the date came, the doctor apparently he hadn't received the protocol for mom to take the chemotherapy treatment that time.
Right.
So he sent her a message saying that she wasn't going to have chemo in August. A few weeks passed, and I realized like it's been a while since mom had chemotherapy, because he said that he was going to look for an alternative treatment so that mom could take. And every other patient that took that same regimen, he would get an alternative for them. So I shot him a text and asked, like, should I be worried that mom hasn't taken chemotherapy? And he said to me, well, I messaged 2 weeks ago to say that he received the protocol and that mom is the only person who hasn't taken the chemotherapy. I'm like, really? I'm like, who did you text? Was it my mom? He's like, no. I said, is it the person who drives her? He's like, yes. So I put down my phone. I immediately text her, tried calling her, message, everything.
So the person who drives her is the
employer. She would usually take her up because she works up north as well. So she would usually drive mom up there because it was in the Sunny Acres area that they were doing the chemotherapy.
Right.
So she said to me, well, she wasn't well, and the doctor sent her the message, but they haven't discussed anything yet. I'm like, in my mind, why are we discussing anything? That's the doctor. He knows what he's doing. Why are we discussing anything before we agree to have mom get the chemotherapy done? Mm-hmm. So from that time, I made new arrangements. A new person would take mom to get chemotherapy done. And I spoke to my mom. I said, listen, moving forward, she will not be involved in that. It's not like we're begging her. She actually volunteered to take you and be concerned when it came to the chemotherapy. She wanted to be first and foremost in the forefront. She wanted that position. We gave it to her, and now she's messing up.
And that's your mother's health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to mom, listen, I'm going to pay the balance of the chemotherapy. So I paid August. Mom had that chemotherapy session done in September. My mother paid October. I paid November, December. And my mom had a CT scan to get done after the treatment in December. Her last chemotherapy in December was on the 8th of December of 2020. We got the chemotherapy done. We did the CT scan. And that entire time, the employer never surfaced to say, well, I'm back. We never heard from her.
Yeah, she just let that
MIA.
thing go. That was it.
Yes. So we did all of that. Mom went for her results, I think, in February of 2021 or January. And the tumor had shrunk tremendously.
Good.
In the beginning, the doctor was talking about having surgery done to put the bag for her, the colonoscopy bag. He said that would no longer be required and that she was doing well. But the liver was not treated through the chemotherapy sessions that she did. So there was some cancer still showing there. And that the doctor said it wasn't aggressive. It's treatable, and she was fine. My mom's birthday was on the 28th of February of 2021. She turned 60. I had decided to have a birthday for her in December of that year because it was her 60th birthday. And all of a sudden, I'm like, no, like, I'm going to have the birthday on your birthday. And in December, we're going to do a bigger hoorah birthday when we come home. Because that same year, the year before that, I got my permanent residence here. And imagine, on the day that I sent the money to the lady for mom's chemotherapy in her name, was the day that they called me to tell me that my stuff was approved as well.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
I sent her the money in the afternoon. They called me in the evening time that day. Permanent residence. I got my stuff in May of 2021. Everything
and that is some good news.
April, I think. Yes, amazing news in the midst of all of the crisis in
all
the
crisis.
Because COVID was going on big time at that time.
Yeah.
Full blown. So we did that, and then fast forward to around April, I think, mom started getting a fever because the doctor hadn't decided on what regimen that he would give mom, what protocol he would give her for that session. But she said that she would be doing chemotherapy again. So I messaged him. I'm like, mom has a fever again. So he's like, she should go see the doctor. So she went to the doctor. The general practitioner confirmed that it's because the liver was not functioning well. That's why she was having that fever. She was supposed to see the oncologist on the Monday of the following week. The doctor said, listen, the general practitioner said, when he comes in, because they were doing the oncologist was doing his clinic in that same office.
Yeah.
So he said, when he comes in on Monday, I will have a talk with him as to what I think is going on here. So when he came in, I messaged him to let him know that the general practitioner would like to speak with him when he goes in on Monday.
Yeah.
He spoke with him, and that later that day he messaged me to tell me that the cancer is more aggressive in the liver as he first thought. Whatever the results showed when they did it in December, it has gotten more aggressive.
Yeah.
And that he will choose like the regimen so that mom could take. So mom started chemo again in May of that same year. But I must tell you, the birthday, that was one of the best birthdays she had. She was able to eat, enjoy her little self. She enjoyed her birthday that year. And when I started looking at her, I realized that she was losing more weight and she wasn't looking good that year. So the doctor messaged that she would be doing oral chemo alone this time around because her weight, my mom was like below 100 pounds and she has height. My mom was about 5'8.5" or so, and she was under 100. So she
So
started
at the
the
birthday party,
chemotherapy.
she was below 100?
Her weight was a bit above. It was a bit above. But afterwards, like the weight started going down. We could actually see it. So he said to me, he's not going to trust having her do intravenous and oral, so we're just going to do oral this time around. So she started chemo again in May. So then one of mom's very good friends realizes that things are not looking bright. So I think she reaches out now and sends a message so that the employer could know that my mother isn't doing well.
Yeah.
So she resurfaces, and now she decides, oh, my mom needs somebody to help take care of her at the house, starts putting things in place. And at one point, my mom even said, oh, she's going to be in charge because you guys are not home right now, so I'm going to give her the lead. So she loved that position.
Okay, so your mom put her in
So
charge.
Yes. She was in the lead for a little bit when she
Yeah.
came back on board again. So gave her lead position, and then she wants to dictate that, oh, you should do that and you should do this and you should do that. I'm okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I paid off the chemotherapy sessions again without her help. Never offered again. It's not that she owed us that, but a little bit of I could at least help this time around. Nothing
Yeah.
came through. Nothing, no word of help. But I was okay. I paid off the chemotherapy sessions. Did my best. My sister and family members helped. Mom's friends. A lot of people pitched in. We got a caregiver. And by July 22nd, mom wasn't doing well again.
Okay.
Fever, and when we went to the oncologist, her blood pressure was dropping. And at that point, she had developed a fluid buildup in her stomach.
Right.
That was it was terrible.
And I saw the picture earlier.
Yes. She looked like she was pregnant.
Yeah, it was a bad situation.
Literally.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the stomach was heavy. So the oncologist said, listen, we need to get the fluid drained out because it's not doing the body well.
Yeah.
Because her weight was very low and she had a stomach. So you can imagine the pressure on her spine and on her body.
Yeah.
So went back to her doctor down south. She went to that doctor, I think on the 10th of August it was. When he saw her, he said to her, listen, we cannot drain this fluid. If we were to drain it, we have to put you under. If you go under, I don't think you're gonna wake up because her
Her
blood
body was
pressure was
not.
already dropping at that time.
Yeah.
So they decided to continue her on the tablets that they were giving her for water retention. I don't think it helped because the stomach just kept growing.
Growing. Yeah.
And he sent her to get some blood work done. Got the blood work done. The lady who went with her sent me the results of the blood work. And from what we saw, that it wasn't good. And the doctor had already said, listen, I am not sure if she's going to have a few months, but he's not God, but she's not going to make it. Things are not looking well. So the oncologist sent me a message saying, you probably should try coming home because things are not looking well. So at that time, the borders up here were closed.
Yep.
Borders were going to be reopened on the 7th of September. So I'm like, okay. As soon as borders open, I'm going to try to come home. Got my vaccines in, everything in a month's time. I was good. So by the time the borders were open, I was fully vaccinated and I was able to travel. I couldn't get a flight not until the 3rd of October. That was the first direct flight from Canada to St. Lucia. And mom passed away on the 25th of September of 2021.
Wow.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh,
Thank you
sad.
so much.
So basically, you did not get there in time. You could not have gotten there in time.
No. I tried doing alternate flights. I go through Barbados.
I just skip.
I could get to Barbados, but I couldn't get a flight from
Couldn't get
Barbados to
out.
St. Lucia. Everything was booked. So the travel agent said to me, listen, I think your best bet is to just wait on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So before all of that, I spoke to my daughter. My daughter was back home at the time, and my cousin, they were the ones there at night with my mom. So I said, listen, all of the documents that my mom has, could you kindly put it aside and make sure that everything's secure? And when I get home, you could pass it on to me. So I get home on the 3rd, clean out bedroom, everything, turn things upside down, go through the documents. There's no will among that stuff.
So there were no legal documents in the house.
The only thing were mom's old passports. There was the power of attorney that the husband had given her. That and her bank book. But apart from that,
Nothing
no
else.
land papers, nothing else.
Wow,
So
wow, wow.
from the 3rd, I got home. The Monday was Thanksgiving, so I used that day to clean up and tidy up mom's bedroom and the house. And I would hit the road on Tuesday, so I had to go get the death certificate, all of these things in place, and arrange for a funeral.
Yeah.
So now I'm in contact with mom's employer again and reaching out. We spoke, they came over to the house and whatnot. And when I went to the credit union, they informed me that I needed a will and my mom's death certificate and the husband's. But when I went in at first, they said to me, you can't access the funds because there's a beneficiary on there.
So did
So
they
apparently,
say to you who it was?
no, they didn't disclose, they cannot disclose that. So whilst I was at the house phone rang. My daughter answered and they were asking for my mom's husband.
Huh?
Yes, I'll tell you what happened. My mom never brought the death certificate in to confirm that the husband had passed.
So on their
She
records,
was
he's
his
alive.
Yes.
So he's a beneficiary.
Yes. He was the person that they were telling me that there's a beneficiary on the account and they have to get an okay from him that's the only way I could access my mom's money. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a will yet or any of the sorts, so I'm just gonna go with what I have. So I messaged the employer to let her know, like, mom had already spoken to me about the land money. So since I don't have access to the account, like whatever is owing to mom, we could pay the funeral home with it.
But you did not have your stepfather's death certificate.
Yes, I did. I did have it.
Okay.
But even with the death certificates and the IDs, I still needed the will to prove that I was my mom's beneficiary.
So now the problem is getting that will. Wow. So
No
let's
will.
follow the lead.
Yes. So we go, and the employer says to me, well, we cannot access the money for the land because one of the children, the stepchildren, is refusing to sign on their side. So that money hasn't been dispersed. And until that happens, no money can come out of the bank.
Okay, so there's a loan waiting to be...
Yes, of funds to be dispersed to both sides.
Both sides.
Yes.
But one...
So she has... Go on.
So one of the father's...
Stepchildren.
Right. That person just decided, look, we're not signing anything now.
One out of the 7 or 6 of them,
seven.
whichever it is, refuses to sign. The same thing that they came to the house, they were asking the dad to give them half of.
So
There's
now,
an opportunity now to get money if you just sign a paper and sell it over to the employer. And one of them is now refusing to do it. The land as a whole has the value. As a half, it doesn't make sense. Because it's not a huge property. It's just the area that it's in that makes it at the price that it's at.
Right.
So I said to her, well, that's the only access that I had to money.
Yeah.
So she sends me a message saying that we will probably go to the funeral home and ask them to do installment payments. I'm like, okay. So let me disclose exactly what happened. I went home with money to take care of my mom's funeral.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see what her response would be to me about the land money. Because the last conversation, the conversation about one of the children not signing the paper was a story she already gave to my mom a few months before. When she came over to the house, because I'm sure that she probably got word that my mom wasn't doing well, because the mom's doctor and the oncologist, she was close with them. Her husband is the friend of mom's, the primary doctor, the first doctor that mom saw. They went to school together. Her husband and that man are very good friends. So I'm sure the message was passed on that mom was going downhill. She wasn't going to make it. So when she came to pay my mom her salary in September, she came in the beginning of September. My mom said to me she had a conversation with her that she needed her land money, because I guess my mom felt that she was not going to make it too, but she wouldn't let us know that she wasn't feeling
So your
that
mom
well.
made the request for the money, for the land.
For the money for the land. And she said to my mom, we just need a surveyor to survey the land and you're going to get your money.
So all it needs now is a surveyor, not the stepchild holding up the property.
No. The story of the stepchild had already passed. She had already given that story to my mom.
So
she said to her, it's just a surveyor that we're missing and your money is going to come through as soon as we survey.
So who's responsible for surveying the land?
The land was already surveyed, I'm sure. I am very sure of that. Because all of these things were already in place. Because I'm not into the banking thing and the law thing, but how could the bank give you a loan if they didn't send somebody out there to make sure that whatever you were buying was the amount that you said you were buying and at the price you said you were buying it, you're purchasing it?
Yeah, but let me confirm that you're right. When you're purchasing land or property, you got to choose one of the bank's surveyors, and that information got to be in even before any monies are guaranteed by the bank. So
Because the bank is not going to pour in their money to you as a loan, and they're not sure of what you're buying and how much you're buying. I didn't go to law school. I didn't go. I'm not a banker,
no,
but
you're doing well.
something about that doesn't add up.
Yeah, surely.
And the other thing about having, because every party has to agree to be selling to you, because the bank is not going to give you a loan sitting in an account. Never.
The bank is not going to.
If I know,
The bank is not going to get caught up in this kind of family feud where Johnny don't want to sign, Teresa don't want to sign, but the rest want to sign. You will have to settle that first before you get to the bank. The land must not be tied up in any dispute.
nope. So, because she said to me in a message that she had the loan was approved the previous year, so that would have been 2020.
So the loan was approved.
That's what she said in the message.
So, okay, so there's no waiting on surveyor.
But that's the story she told my mom. That she just needed a surveyor to survey the land and her money would come through. So my mom requested the money. Everybody was saying, well, my mom mentioned to them that her money was going to come through. Because I went home last week. I was there for 7 days. And I met this lady. And the lady said to me, but your mom said to me she was going to get her money for the land. I said, lady, listen, it's been a year since mom passed. My mom didn't eat a lollipop on that land money. Not a dime. She didn't see a cent of that money. Okay. Fast forward, let's go. We're moving along.
Yeah.
So mom, I went to the funeral home with my cousin. We paid off all of the expenses. I'm only disclosing that now. Nobody knew before that.
Now they're
But I
knowing.
paid off all of mom's expenses. And she didn't show up at the funeral home because I guess she figured out, because she was telling me the day before that we were going to call the funeral home and get a plan in place to pay the funeral home by installments. But move back a little too. We went to see the casket and everything on the Saturday, and then got everything in place. And she went to the bank that afternoon while we were in Viewport, came to me, rolled up some money, and put in my hand. We went to get the outfit and stuff for my mom. And right in front of everybody, I opened the money because I didn't want people thinking that she would probably say she gave me a certain amount and that wasn't what she gave. So when I opened up the money, there was $160. I'm going to say that right now.
$160.
$160 was what she gave me rolled up.
And your mother was working with this person for 7 years.
I said, yes, my mom worked with her for 7 years. They contributed making corsages because the sister was she's into that. She made the corsages because the person who was supposed to get to do it, the person was sick at the time. They did some decoration at the church, ordered some sandwiches to give out after the funeral, and they contributed towards that. Because I had already said also with the COVID situation, I don't want to be stuck in St. Lucia for contact tracing because people came to my mom's funeral and I didn't want to do food or reception or anything.
Right.
So they did a small thing. She made plans to have a small thing done to give food at the cemetery. They contributed towards that. I'm not going to lie. Whatever they did, I'm going to say they did.
Yeah.
They did a bouquet of flowers for mom and a floral corsage. That was it. We had the funeral. And mommy was buried on the 13th of October on a Wednesday. And after the funeral, I called her up and said, listen, I cannot find a will. I went to the person that mom directed Brittany, my daughter, to go to. And I went to the lady, and when I mentioned the person's name, she said to me, but that person, to me, that person not a lawyer. I think it's so and so that did your mom's will. To me, that's who your mom mentioned that did the will.
Right.
So I called up the office of that lawyer, went in, and she confirmed that she didn't do my mom's will, last will and testament.
So the lawyer is indicating that she did no will for your mother.
Yes, that lawyer. The person she directed me to,
Yeah.
sorry, was not the person who did the will. She confirmed that she was not the one. It wasn't her chambers that did the will. I said, okay. So I spoke to her. I said, listen, could you go through your papers and the documents that my mom gave you? Because my mom gave her the deed for the land, because since she was, I think, going to get a loan to purchase the land, you had to have documents to prove that.
So you're talking to the employee now?
The employer, yes, mom's employer.
Employer, yeah.
Yes, so I spoke to her. I said, listen, could you go through your documents that you have in your possession that are mom's and see whether you find a will in the midst of it, because I cannot find a will anywhere.
Yeah.
The person I went to visit, who apparently was supposed to write up a will, she doesn't have a copy.
Wait. The person who's supposed to write up the will don't have a copy.
No.
Now this sounds funny. Who is supposed to write up the will? The lawyer.
Yes.
Well, the legal clerks do their stuff, but the lawyer is responsible.
Yes, they are.
So did you ever get any documents from your mother's boss?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
So let me tell you a story about that part. So I returned. When I spoke to her, that was like end of October. Also, the daughter of the husband had contacted me at the cemetery on the day of my mom's funeral that we needed to talk about the land situation.
That's at the service in the cemetery.
Yes, the cemetery. The day I buried mom, a few seconds after I walked away from the tomb, she came to me and said to me, listen, we need to sit and talk about the land situation.
So she's not even waiting for you to wipe your tear.
No. So I contacted mom's employer, and because I didn't have a contact number, because I know that they were in talks, because she is the one who has that daughter is the one who has the power of attorney. So she's the eldest, I think, among the group. So she's the one who will be collecting the money for their side of the family. So I said to her, listen, can I kindly get her number? So she said, I like doing things professionally. Can I ask her permission that I give you her number? I said, that's fine. So she gives her permission. I sent out a message to the daughter saying, listen, we need to sit and speak about you. Contacted me at the cemetery, so let's have a sit down. So I also said to the employer, can the three of us have a meeting and discuss exactly where things are at? Pastor Garfield, that was like the end of October of last year. The daughter read the message, never replied to me.
You sent that message through what? WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Okay, so you would get a receipt of that, of
yes,
them
there were
receiving.
2 blue ticks.
Yeah.
And that was it. No reply.
No reply.
Not a call, because it was my mom's phone from back home, her digital phone. She never called the number. She never replied to the message. And I let her know that it was me messaging from that number as well. That it was me sending her the message. Excuse me. We did that. I said, listen, can we arrange to have a meeting with the 3 of us? That never happened. I left home on the 7th of November of 2021. I came up. From the time I left St. Lucia, Pastor Garfield, I haven't heard from my mom's employer. Christmas went by last year, nothing. So in January of this year, I contacted a lawyer so that we could write up a letter to send out to acquire my mom's documents from my mom's employer. Had the letter written in January. She said to me also that we needed to contact the chambers. Even if I went to that other lawyer that she mentioned to me, we need to contact them and get confirmation that they were not the ones who wrote my mom's last will and testament.
And let me just confirm to our listeners that I have copies here of the letters. What our sister here, Alina, is saying, it is true. We have receipts of those communication, those documents. Go ahead, my friend.
So the letter was written up. The lawyer reached out to the different chambers. And that's when I learned that the person that I saw requesting a copy of mom's will was actually the secretary of a lawyer, and she wasn't a lawyer.
So she did not disclose her position?
No. And the way that I thought that she was the lawyer was the way that she said to me, she's going to check her files at home. When I said to her, like, I identified who I was, and she said, I know of the situation. I remember doing something for that lady. So I'm going to check my files at home to see whether I find a copy. And could you contact me back on Wednesday?
So wait. So the documents, she can recall doing something for your mother.
Yes.
But the documents might be at her house.
The file might be at her house. That's what she said to me. She's going to check the files at her house. So when she mentioned files at her house, I'm like, well, that's the lawyer. I thought she was the lawyer.
So
but when
she's confirming to you that the possibility is there that I might have some legal documents, personal documents at my house.
Yes, that she did a will, that she remembers writing up something for mom, because mom came to her and explained to her about the situation that the stepkids did with the will and the dad. And whatever she inherited from that she would want to secure it for her children in a will. So mom went to her and she paid her, but we can't find a receipt either for that payment. But because my mom mentioned to me that she paid to get the will done.
So the woman who indicates that yes, she remembers, she can recall doing something for your mother. Do you know what law firm she's working with?
Yes,
So you okay? Good.
Yes.
So did you speak to the lawyer? The lawyer?
No, that's exactly what I'm telling you. When I went in there, she didn't identify that she wasn't the lawyer.
So you're thinking
that she is the lawyer in that office. She's the lawyer for that at the chamber. She never identified that she wasn't a lawyer. She said to me, I remember doing something for your mom, and I know of that situation. She explained to me exactly what went on with the stepkids, and I remember doing something for her. So I will check my files at home. Is the files at home thing that caught my attention? Because if you did something, you have files at home, that means you're the lawyer.
You're the lawyer.
That's my exact thought, because who else would have the files?
Yeah, I can't get myself, I cannot come to understand this whole situation here with the lawyers thing, because I believe that legal documents should be at the lawyer's office secured, not in somebody's personal space at home. Yes. I don't understand. So to me, it sounds like some cocoa tree or whatever the solution call it.
Yes.
You know, that doesn't sound straight.
Nope.
And I've heard this story before, you know. And I plan to expose a lot of these stories very soon. Because you have innocent families, persons who are suffering as a result of some of these individuals in these, you know what, just continue. I don't want to get too excited about anything as yet.
Pastor Garfield.
Yeah.
So I eventually learned that she was a lawyer, a secretary to a lawyer, and she wasn't a lawyer.
What do you
So
call it? A legal clerk or something?
I'm not sure, legal secretary, whatever. I'm not sure what the title is, but she was the secretary at that firm.
So this is the
So
secretary
we,
communicated with you.
yes, because I walked in, I didn't know there was a door behind the door. I met somebody in the front. I identified who I was. I told her who I was, and she remembers the case quite clearly that my mom came to her. And so the lawyer writes to both firms. One firm replies, and the firm that secretary is employed at never replied to the letter, never replied to the email that was sent out.
Never.
Never. So now I was beginning to wonder, like, exactly, is it just the secretary or is it the entire firm that is doing
No,
some cover up
sometimes
there?
it's just, sometimes it's the secretaries, you know.
It
Sometimes the
is true
lawyers don't
because
know anything that is going on, you know.
it is true.
But we will expose it, and we're hoping to get some movement on this matter, because we got to expose these kind of crookeries, you know.
It's a
And we're
lot.
opening the platform, if the legal clerk want to come on and speak one of these nights, she can do it. Come, let's talk. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not jumping to any conclusion, something sounds crooked. Because if Alina's mom came to you and you can remember it, you can remember it. I mean,
I know. So that happened, and a letter was written up to send to my mom's employer as well to retrieve my mom's documents.
so
I
now we
stated,
have her former boss having her passports, all her other personal
yes,
documents.
I know she has the deed for the land, the property across the street,
So she had the deed for the land, her
the
passport.
passport, and I'm hoping that she also has the will, because in one of
If
her
there is a
messages,
will,
yes, if there is a
because
will,
it got you.
she
There got to be
mentioned
a
to
way
me
that
that
you
we
can
have to
search
probate the
the
will.
system there to figure it out, because the will, I believe, must be ratified or confirmed by the state.
No, that's the other thing about St. Lucia.
No,
They don't register all. No,
are you
I
serious?
learned that. Yes.
You're kidding me.
Nope. No.
If I was drinking, you'd have me to drink a shot of something, because this sounds
Nope.
crooked.
Nope. It's not. I
So
learned from
this
the
is just
lawyer
done in
that
a lawyer's office, and that's it. That's it.
office, and when the person passes, they call the family. If and only if they would, because people could lose their properties that way.
A lot of people have lost their properties. I know of a lot of persons who have lost their properties because of false documents, because of crooked lawyers and crooked secretaries.
Yes. So I requested those documents, and from August, I think, into September, a process server, which is a police officer, has gone to her house. That's my mom's employer, past employer, and she still hasn't received the letter to this day from the police officer.
So the police officer went to serve this woman,
A
and
few
there is no
times now.
action still.
No action.
But let me just say this, folks. The documents that Alina's mom's former boss, I would call it, have in her possession, it is not hers. She's not family member. From the time the woman closed her eyes in death, hand the documents. Once the children shows up on the scene, hand over the documents. It's not yours. The land documents is not yours. The passport is not yours. Hand those things over to the family. Why would you drag this so far where the legal system got to get involved to force your hands so that you can hand over documents? They are not yours. The lady is not your cousin. She's not your sister. She's not your family. Just hand it over. She might be a friend of yours too. But hand over the documents. And we see the same garbage with Cecilia's situation there in Labrie. We see it over and over and over and over again. It is not your property. Hand it over.
And honestly, that's exactly what the lawyer said to me. As of last year, before I left St. Lucia, all of those documents should have been in my possession. Because quite honestly, you didn't purchase the land yet. You didn't pay my mom for the land. So you should not have those documents in your possession.
I can tell you, just listening to this, that it's going to be dirty. It's going to get nasty. And that's all I can say, because a lot of these people are connected. You hear me? I've seen it. I've had those documents in my own hands. I have seen a lot of these things throughout the years. Once you are properly connected. But what I can say to them is righteousness always prevail. You hear me?
Always.
Righteousness always prevail. But go ahead, my friend. I'm so sorry. I mean, you didn't. You have not even They have not even given you the opportunity to grieve.
I can't. Like, it's difficult because I have to be going through these processes, reaching out to the lawyer to find out if there are any updates, and to find out also, like, the employer changed her number. She has my mom's documents in her possession, never reached out to me to say, well, this is my new number. In the event that we have any updates or something changes, I'm going to reach out to you on that number. Nothing.
Hold a minute, let me just do something here. Listen to me. I know, Miss Boss, you will get this message at some point. Listen to me. Hand over the people's document. It is not yours. Hand it over, because the possibility is there that your name can be exposed. Hand over the people document. It is not yours. Don't allow another month to go by. For God's sake, hand it over. No wonder we have these problems in St. Lucia. No wonder we have this social unrest in our society. Hand over the document. It does not belong to you. Period. Listen to me. You have no excuse. You have no reason to hold up these documents. Her mother is dead. She's no longer working with you. Hand over the family's document. If something went on crooked, call the family, call the sister, and deal with it. Don't allow this woman to be going through all this after the death of her mother. You hear me? And I will get your name, and I will expose you. Period. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. So also, quite honestly, all I need is my mom's documents. I need them. And I'm tired of I've tried it through the law and it's not working. So right now, I am sure a lot of people know who I'm speaking about, who I'm talking about. So can somebody kindly pass on the message to her and ask that she pass, like, please surrender my mom's documents at the police station for me, please. I need them. And I have another request as well. My mom has passed. You have never even reached out to me to ask me, like, what's my decision concerning that land situation. It's like almost 5 years now this land situation has been going on. And my stand on it, I'm not selling anymore.
Okay.
But that was my mom's decision to sell to you. It's void. My mom died.
So what I can advise you is to figure out, find out the bank who, I mean, she might have been working with, and let your lawyer have a conversation with them too. Let them know that you're not part of this deal, and you're not going to go forward. Period.
I'm not. I find like this thing has dragged on enough, and I don't think there's going to be an end to it.
No. But
And honestly, I want to be in a space where I could grieve the way that I feel that I should be grieving.
Yeah.
My emotions are always all over the place, and between being angry and being in a hole sometimes, I cannot do that. And I still have to deal with that situation. I do not want this anymore.
Yeah, and basically,
I would prefer just settling this
fresh.
thing right now. Just settle it. The land, the other side is not deciding to sell. Let's just cut it down. Like, be done with it. You have half of the land across the street. You have part of the residential. If you want to work on it, work on it. But my mommy's part, that was supposed to come to her children, it's not up for sale anymore. I'm not selling.
Okay, so therefore now this woman have a problem because you're not selling. And I mean, so what you can do is to hand over the documents, your mother's documents, to you. As you said, take it over to a police station, do whatever you have to do, but it should not be in your possession anymore.
No.
So you know for sure that she have those documents there in her possession.
Yes, especially the deed, because my mom went to work late that day to go get that deed so that she could have it in her possession. Because I wasn't sure if it was because she needed to acquire the loan that was one of the documents she needed to prove that was the property she was purchasing. So she needed that.
Oh boy. So
So
this is a serious
quite
loophole.
honestly, I am no longer in agreement to sell to you.
But
Because you're not communicating either. No communication whatsoever. I haven't heard from her from the end of October of last year. Not a word, not a text, not a call, no legal representation sending me a message saying this is this person's lawyer, and they're reaching out to me on her behalf to let me know that this and this happened, or the monies have already been dispersed and I'm supposed to come home to sign. Nothing.
nothing.
It's the shared disrespect for me. Like, you're not superior and I'm inferior.
Boy. But I can
And
tell
whatever
you,
her requests are, I am fine with you. Listen, you didn't owe my mom paying chemotherapy. It's because that deal was there that you were owing her land money that would eventually come through and we would repay you your money. That's how you ended up being in the position where you started paying chemotherapy. If you want your monies back, let me know how much I'm owing so that I can pay you back. But I need my mother's documents.
and the
Be
land
a
is out of the
woman
deal.
and bold enough to let me know your stance. That's me. Because I don't see the reason why you're holding something hostage. And on the other hand, she's owing my mom more money. She was owing my mom more money than my mom owed to her. So, quite honestly, it doesn't add up.
So your mother did not get any NIS benefit while she was sick.
So, every time this woman had to pay my mom, there was one time, like, she has to give an authorization to the bank every month. My mom has been working with her for 6 going on to 7 years. And while my mom was sick, there was one time she went down to the bank. She called my mom the night before saying that she sent an email to the bank manager saying that to pay her salary. We're in COVID times, the lines are long as ever. My mom knows the security guard. He lets her in, calls the bank manager, comes down. She never sent an email. My mom leaves the bank, no salary. A sick woman. You know she has cancer. Mom didn't get any NIS contributions. And to make matters worse, there was no pension as well. My mom has worked for over 40 years. She has worked for prominent people down south. And people who know my mom knows who she worked for. They're very well known. My mom only received, I'm going to disclose, $5,611 and some cents. That was the full payment for her almost 40 years of working. And to make matters worse, when I went, after I paid the funeral bill, that money that the NIC gives you when the person passes away, your mom or whoever passes away, I went down
like a
there.
death benefit?
Yes. When I went down to NIC, they made me know that all of the monies were already given to my mom. So that whatever amount it was part of that package that they gave her, the $5,600. That's everything, including the death benefit.
I think there needs to be a serious investigation
altogether.
They are launching this matter, and there are many other families, I'm telling you, who are listening to us, who are having the same problem, the same problems, I don't understand, you know. But you're going to be shocked, I can tell you, with the whole land issue. You might be shocked to know that the land is already registered. Well, that's another case.
That's another show.
That's another. I'm telling you. I don't know what's going on there, but I believe that the registrar or the land registry, we need to look over those laws and stuff. We need to do things differently. We got to keep up with the times. That's what I believe. Yes. There are too many families losing their properties, losing their assets, losing their land over, some fake documents or somebody who knows a lawyer or a clerk, rather, and then the clerk can guarantee them that I can get that fixed for you. I can get it organized, some family friend, and as easy as that, you lose your asset. And people wait until these vulnerable times when there's death or sickness in the family and play all these games. There are hundreds of families who are going through the same problem. And that's why I encourage families to make your will, put your plans in place. Let it be known to your children.
Yes.
Especially if you have stepchildren and step people involved in this thing. We got to guide that process and not because, I don't want to speak politics, but that's what your representatives need to be doing also, educating their communities. The seniors, the vulnerable ones. But some of them might be lawyers themselves, so then, I don't know what to say.
And that's another story.
Yeah, that's a lot of other stories. But, I'm happy that you're here, and we're going to stick on the story. The update with Cecilia in Labrie, the postmortem was done, and there are other investigations that are going on at this time. On that matter, remember there was a land dispute there, property, where auntie and this one wanted to come fight the daughter for her father's property, wanted to put her out of her own father's house. How in the world can that happen? And people sleep and people are comfortable with this type of garbage in their society. It is time for, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, family's supposed to be family. They're supposed to be blood, but I mean, these are the ones who put you through hell. You know, I don't know what to say.
It
I'm
is
just
true.
sorry that you had to go through this, and I pray and I hope that we see the end of the tunnel with this situation. So we asking.
Yes.
And by the way, this boss, she works at a bank or something. Say no more.
HR department at the bank.
Oh. Let's allow our listeners to hear this. The boss works at a bank in St. Lucia, and she works as an HR manager.
She has a good position. I'm sure it might be manager. HR department.
Oh, so Miss HR lady, we coming for you. So I mean, just bring some clarity to the situation. Don't embarrass your bank. We're not here to embarrass people. We're here, for resolution and a peaceful resolution to matters. So please, I would beg you to do what is right. Don't complicate this any further. This is not back in the days where you only had HTS and DBS. This is this World Wide Web social media. You can't erase us. You can't move us. We shall not be moved. So my simple advice to you is to do what is right and hand over the documents to the family. And do it. If you can do it tonight, we will love it. If you can send a message to say, look, I have those things. It would be nice. We can pick them up. I can find a JetBlue flight tonight and help in the process. But thank you, my friend, for being on.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to everybody who tuned in as well. Thank you so much. This platform, it has given me a voice. It has given me more, how should I say it? It's a bigger place where you could express exactly what you're going through, express yourself, and more people could hear about it and know that most of us, the struggles that some of us may go through, we are not alone in it. Because when I saw Cecilia's situation, that's what actually rang that bell in my head. Honestly, I'm going to talk about my situation and let people know exactly what's going on.
Yes,
we cannot be silenced into holes and be going through certain things, because sometimes when you speak about things, that's when you kind of get a relief.
Yeah, and you look like you feel a little better tonight.
Yes, I do. I'm telling you. I listen. I was so looking forward to this. So looking forward to it.
Yes.
Because I needed to get this off of my chest.
I know, because
out of my head and out of my mouth, out of my heart.
Yes.
Because it was doing something to me. I haven't slept for like a few weeks now.
Tonight you shall sleep, and I know you were ready from since 6:30 for a 7 o'clock show, 8 o'clock show.
Ready like Freddy.
I know. So I'm happy that you feel a little better, knowing that we are on the case. We are going to keep it in the media. We're going to keep it on our platform, and we will be with you to ensure that you come back with good news. Amen. You come back with good news. Amen. And when you come back with the good news, at least give us some grass on the land, okay?
Yes.
Just some grass so we can tie our goats.
Some grass. Okay, no problem. I'll give you most of it. Probably they will be doing the clearing for me. My step program. Hey.
Good. You're funny. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Brother Garfield, and thank you everybody on the platform who showed up and turned out to view my situation. Thank you so much. I pray that everybody has a blessed night and blessed rest of the week. And may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, my God,
Amen.
My Lord and my Redeemer.
Amen. It will be accepted. Amen. So you can disconnect. Nice to have you. I'm going to talk to my audience a bit.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Garfield. Have a good night.
Blessings to you, my friend.
Okay, then. Take care.
There you have it, folks. Alina Tobierre, you heard the situation. You be the judge. Let's give the boss the opportunity to bring in the documents. That's all Alina is asking that the documents be returned, her mother's property, and also she indicated that she's not selling that property anymore, and that is big news there. She's not selling the property anymore, and I will encourage you, those of you who are under the sound of my voice, put your will in place. Get your will in place, especially, and nothing wrong with you if you lose your husband or your wife, you get to marry again, and persons having stepchildren. But you got to do what is right. You got to put things in place so that what she's experiencing now, it will be, it would not be part of the discourse. But these are the discussions that you don't really hear in our communities. Providing the opportunity or the opportunities, yes, for these senior people. And some of these senior people, they can't read or write. Some of them are, they move by trust. They trust people. They trust people. So they trust you to do what is right. They trust you. They always trust Johnny or Teresa to do what is right. And that's not always the best thing. Get to a lawyer, not any lawyer. Get to a good lawyer and talk to them. Don't wait until death for people to be talking over your grave. They have not even covered your graves yet. But people are talking about land and my mother house and my mother key and my mother car and my mother money in the bank. It's like they can't wait for you to close your eyes. They can't wait. So please, I beg you, those of you who are under my voice, please do what you can. Put things in place. Don't allow your children to fight after you're dead. And don't be afraid that nobody taking any land from you. You're dead. They can't, you ain't going anywhere with land or anything else. The very shirt or pants they put on you is somebody else going to decide what color. The very coffin is somebody else going to decide whether it's a cheap one or an expensive one. So you ain't going nowhere with nothing. So the best thing for you to do is to just put something in place so that your children will not have to go through all this craziness. You hear me? Put something in place. Some families are so greedy. Some people want to die with everything. Even in death, you probably buy a ye. They don't want to give their children. They don't want this one. They're holding on to worldly things. You're dead. Especially when you get to a certain age, man, you want to start settling in. Those earthly things would mean less to you. Because some of you will lie on a bed with all kind of sicknesses where you can't even move, and you got to depend on other people to help you. The land, the farmland, you would not even be thinking about it. The house you're in. So do what is right. Do what is right. Please, I beg you for the new year. Think about what I'm saying. And if you don't have children, you don't have other families, and you don't know what to do with your asset, you don't know what to do, call me. I'll tell you what to do with it. You have too much land. You don't want your children to fight. Give it to me. I'll plant dasheen and breadfruit on it, and I'll give it to your children so they can eat dasheen all the rest for the rest of their life. But don't allow your things to just go to waste, or people are fighting and it end up in the wrong hands. Somebody knows a lawyer, a family member knows a lawyer or a clerk, legal clerk, and they do all kind of documents, and your property gone that you work for all your life. Your own children can't even enjoy the house that they grew up in. I'm telling you the truth, but it is up to it's up to y'all to hear what I'm saying and to start using wisdom. As I said to you, you can't go anywhere with your property. Not even your high heel shoe you can go anywhere with. The most they will give you is the last weave that you bought. Put a little lipstick on your lips. Huh? Some of them will go in your closet and take off one of your old dress and put it on you, or old pants, and tell you they're selling you off. And off to the fights for your asset. You see some of them falling down in church, crying, bawling like it's no tomorrow, like they miss you. They're laughing for joy. They can't wait to get to the cemetery. The pastor preaching too long. Why do you think some of them, their mouth does be long in your funeral service? Why do you think they can't wait? You think it's rum they want to go and drink? No. They want to get this thing over with so that they can run to the bank or run in your house and turn it upside down to see if you hide money. Huh? So do what is right. Yes, a lot of them crying, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, bawling, throwing themselves down on the coffin in the church. When they get to the cemetery, they ain't throwing their body down on nothing again, you know. You ever see any one of them take a ladder and go down in a hole and say, okay, cover me too. Cover me with mommy, cover me with daddy. Huh? They throw themselves down in the church on your coffin, kissing your decaying body in the coffin. Putting on a show. And these funeral services now has become a show. To show that we have the best casket and we have the best service, well-planned service and the best preacher. That's all it is. It has become a show. They put on their high heel shoe and their little mini skirt. That's how people go to funeral service now. They have no respect for you, whether you're dead or alive. They put their mini skirt and their breasts out and they're gone with their little black hat on their head. With a white handkerchief, white in crocodile tears. And as soon as they finish, they're fighting like Tarzan over your stuff. Huh? That's the reality. The reality of life. So get with the game and do what is right. Do what is right, friends. Let me just read some of the comments and then I'm gone. But I'm telling you the truth, and the truth will set you free. Some of them praying for you to die because you are a bother to them. They fed up cleaning Pampers and they fed up can't go to party and carnival because they got to stay in the house with you. And they hang on because they know you have something. And there are some crooked friends who would help pretend like they're helping you and they're caring for you because they believe that you will give them something or you will write something and say, you take my property, you stay with me and you help me you help me in my last days. Look. The hearts of men have become cold and wicked. So let me just read what I have there. And I said what I said, and I'm not going to apologize for it. It's the truth. It's the truth. Some of them, they're in different countries. Not a sweetie they're selling for you. Huh? But you see them on Facebook at Macy's, taking pictures at Macy's. You see them showing off with glass of wine, glass in their hands, showing off on Facebook while you were there catching your tail. As soon as you turn, you close your eyes, they jump on JetBlue, go and rent their clothes and rent their shoes because they got to leave it with the tag on so that they can take it back, and they run down showing off all over the village. Dorothy, that's Dorothy, daughter, first daughter. And you walk around with your fake accent showing off all over the place. But you never took the time to go down and spend at least a week by the bedside of your parents. Huh? But I am not going further because some of you will get angry with me. Some of you will get very upset because that's the truth. And I know many don't want to hear the truth. And that's why I am here today. I'm telling you, parents, do what is right and put something in place. And if you don't feel like giving Johnny anything, don't give Johnny nothing. If Johnny was ungrateful and wicked to you, don't give Johnny. Don't reward Johnny. Johnny's wickedness because Johnny's your child. Don't do it. And if somebody took care of you and you want to give the person something, put it in a will. If the person was good to you and you feel like you can give the person a goat or a sheep, be kind. Do it. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, let me just go. Let me just go on to this thing. I see them every day in their black suit. They're shopping all over New York, all over the place looking for black suit, the best black suit, to look better than the dead. You know, like when you go to weddings, some people try to look better than the bride and the groom. Huh? When they walk into the church, you want to know who's the bride and who's the groom because they look better than you. Anyway, I do put that in. Let's read. Let's read just before we go, just a few minutes, few seconds. Okay, sunshine. Just waiting for them to shut their eyes. You're right. It's true. And we make no apologies for the truth here. Tiny. So I can go with my wig pass. Tiny. Tiny. I was just talking, but if you have expensive wig and you want them to bury you in wig, nothing wrong with that. You look nice in your little wig. And by the way, there's an old saying, if you can't achieve it, weave it. Period. And if you buy it, it's your hair. Once you buy the hair, it's yours. So if anybody asks you if that's your hair, tell them yes, it's yours. You're not lying. Uki twa pulao, uki ashte, silayo. So tiny Barry Coleman. Yeah, Chibe weave woman. If I could have get some hair right now, I buy some because all the top of my head gone. Lucy, is it a show? Yes, exactly. Putting on a big show. And you know it's a show because after they bury you and they go to the wake, you see them laughing, jumping, trying to rob somebody of their husband or wife. Lewis, truth be told, yes. Let me go on YouTube and see what my folks are saying over there before we go. I got to pay attention to them. Okay, Donovan is there. The truth hurts. Yes. Glasgow, hi, how are you? And Felix Vivian says, God will deal with the wicked people who are doing wrong to innocent people. That's true. That is so true. Bureau, good night. And Kathy, good night to you, my friend. And Norville, good night to you also. So, folks, let me tell you something. You all have a beautiful night. And I just saw some other comments there. Frances, Lydia Frances. I do elderly care, and I can tell you about some of those children. Devil they are. No, it's true. Some of them bad, like yes, they're bad. They're worse than big on. Callista, let the truth be told. Yes, Augustine. Good night to you. Good night, my friends. Yes, good night. And by the way, you all have a beautiful season. And on Wednesday, we have Father Albert, who will be here with us on the platform. Father Albert will be here with us on the platform. We're going to discuss a lot on Wednesday. You know, he's a fun guy, and I'm sure many of you would want to be part of that interview with Father Albert. You know, he's a very open guy, and, you know, a lot can go on Wednesday night. Amen? We can look at the social ills in society, and I'm sure we can touch on this. All right? So, folks, good night, and have a beautiful, whatever you're going to do now. You remember to say your prayers, wash your face, go to your bed. Thank God for another day. Thank God for bringing you home safely, bringing your family home safely. Not a lot of families that go out come back in. And, you know, life is very fragile. Life is unpredictable. Anything can happen tonight. Anything can happen tomorrow. I spoke to you about my friend who they found her niece in the bedroom at 28 dead. 28 dead, and that's a service I'll be doing, I believe, on Friday, one of these Fridays here, right? But I'm also scheduled to be in your country. I will let you know time, place, and date. Make sure you have all the goat and the lamb and everything else, and the pueso wosi, and all the nice things that you St. Lucians do. Make sure that you have the feast spread. You know, I'm hungry for some local food. Aye, aye, aye. Good night, my friends. Blessings.